Well, it's all going rather well at Liverpool, ladies. We're unbeaten in the league, but today we take on the team we could have taken over and the team that are currently top of the league. So it could all go wrong today. Hello and welcome back to some more Football Manager 26 and another part of the Liverpool ladies beta save. And today we are back with two matches in the league, one against Aston Villa, who of course are the team that also offered us the job along with Liverpool. And then we take on Manchester City, who are above us in the league. They're not actually top of the table, I do tell a lie, but they are the team directly above us. So, as I say, we're unbeaten in the league so far. Let's take you through how we've got on since you last saw us. So, of course, we beat Birmingham City on the opening day of the season. We did exactly the same against Brighton and Hove Albion, 4-2 victory. Molehouse getting us a hat-trick there, and Mari Hobinga also scoring. We then beat Arsenal 2-0 away from home. Really impressive performance in that one. Kiernan and Molehouse scoring there. We then beat Sheffield United 3-1 in the League Cup, with Burnaby getting 2 and Fisk also scoring. We drew 1-1 away from home against Everton in the Merseyside derby. First drop points of the season. Mulhouse saving us a point there. We then beat Manchester United 1-0 with Hubinga scoring a penalty after 15 minutes. And then most recently we drew 0 each against West Ham United at Victoria Road Stadium. That all means that we are currently in third position in the league, 14 points from 6 games, 2 points behind Manchester City and 4 points behind leaders Chelsea, who have won every single match of the season so far. And we will be taking on Chelsea in quite a bit, actually. And they are going to be our last opponents of the season as well. So our second update will probably be around there at some point. Birmingham and Chelsea at the sort of halfway stage of the season to see where we are up to. Let's have a quick look at squad performances before we move on. Top goal scorer is Larissa Mulhouse with 5 from 7 starts. 3 for Kiernan, who is injured for a little while after getting injured on international duty. She's going to be out for about 6 more weeks. 2 each for Barnaby and Hubinga. Top assists is 3 for Lorena Navarro, 2 for Fisk, 2 for Kiernan and 2 for Hubinga. And top average rating so far this season is Burnaby with a 7.73 average rating. Okay, let's have a little look at the team for today's match then. We have got Bogaraf in goal because Lete is unfortunately injured. We've got Cazorla, Fisk and Evans as our back three. Lundqvist and Burnaby as our wing-backs, with Kerr and Hubinga holding the midfield. Navarro and Capax will support Mulhouse up top. So let's get ourselves into it. As I say, we've been playing pretty well so far this season, so I'm excited to see how we get on against Aston Villa today, who were a team that offered us the job along with Liverpool. But I fancied the job of Liverpool. You know, they're underdogs in the Women's League. It'd be nice to get them up there into the top 3, qualify for the Champions League. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? So let's get ourselves into it then and see how we get on. Of course, Aston Villa currently 2 places below us in the league. This is a very tricky match on paper, but hopefully we can be at our best and continue our unbeaten streak, which I think is 10 games stretching back to last season as well. So Liverpool in a really good place, actually. I'm not entirely sure why their manager left. Surely they weren't sacked. Maybe they were poached by Arsenal or London City Lionesses. Maybe it was something to do with that. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, this is good play so far from Aston Villa, and there's Grant with a shot just wide. But yeah, we want to be packing out the stands, getting the supporters behind us, getting that money through the door, and essentially seeing what we can do from there. Obviously, we've got a few injury issues at the moment. We're not quite firing on all cylinders, and maybe that's why we haven't won the last couple of matches, but we're hanging in there. We managed to save a point against Everton. I think that was a big moment, and well, here's Mulhouse on the ball. What can she do? She's still going, Mulhouse, and well, it's bumbling around in the area. It's off the line eventually, but goodness me, that was nearly 1-0, and maybe should have been 1-0. And Mulhouse once again showing her qualities. She maybe wasn't at her best in the first match against Birmingham, but since then she has absolutely wiped the floor with most opposition that she's come up against. You know, particularly that performance against Arsenal away from home at the Emirates. That was really impressive. You know, Arsenal are the bar setters, if you like, of how to be a top women's football club, and I was really impressed with that performance. But 0-0 at half-time. I suppose it is getting a little bit worrying now that we are starting to get into a bit of a rut of not scoring goals. But, well, we'll see how we get on in the second half. It's Kapaks that I'm most disappointed with. She's not really come to the party yet this season. It would be nice to see her contribute a little bit more to the team. You know, we've got Navarro on that right-hand side. She's doing well. But yeah, I think we are going to need some substitutions here to try and inspire us a little bit. So Kapaks is going to come off. I'm going to go with Pilgrim on that left-hand side, actually. And not somebody that I've tried too much of, and maybe Enderby on the right, and yeah, tempted by Nagano, but I'm not going to go for that just instead of Enderby on the right. We're going to go Olsen actually on the right. Everything else looks okay for now, so let's keep going with that and see what happens. Here's Burnaby, gets it to Pilgrim now. Burnaby again, gets it to Evans. Here's Kerr on the ball. Pilgrim comes back to collect. Here's Burnaby once again. Burnaby still going, and it's into the back of the net, and it's Larissa Mulhouse who's the one that puts it into the back of the net. Fantastic finish, and Burnaby once again on that left-hand side has just been absolutely outstanding, hasn't she? And she whips that in, and it's a good finish in the end, and it puts us 1-0 to the good. Very good stuff. And that puts us up to second as things stand. What's happening with Chelsea? Are Chelsea losing at the minute? No, I just don't think they're playing. Yeah, they're not playing at the minute. Let's move that back to balance now, because we have been struggling in the last sort of 10 minutes of matches so far this season, and that's where we've conceded a lot of our goals. Yeah, good tackle once again from Burnaby. Oh, but we've left them in, and that's a great save from the goalkeeper. Now, we could make a couple of changes, but I still feel like we need to search for that second rather than rest on this 1-0 lead. I feel like if we bring on pressure, we'll get what we deserve, but yeah, it's closed out, and yeah, very, very good victory there. 3 points in the bag, another 1-0 win. And I'll tell you what, we're building a bit of a title charge at this stage. That was very, very good. We've made it 11 unbeaten going into last season as well. So a very, very different experience so far to the Manchester United journey. Very, very happy with that, but it's a big challenge coming next against Manchester City. Well, a couple of changes for this match against Manchester City then. We have gone for a little bit of a change of out-of-possession tactic. A little bit more defensive is going to be the idea, to hopefully mean that we're not going to absolutely get blown away today. That would be a disaster after our start to the season. So we are bringing back in Gemma Bonner, who's been injured recently. She's only recommended to play 75 minutes, but I think she's such an important part of this team meaning that Fisk can move back to that right back position and bomb down that wing a little bit. I've also brought in Bidal Olsen on that left-hand side instead of Capax, and we'll leave Capax to be an impact substitution later on if required. So let's get into the match against Man City then. Of course, they are, I would say, the favourites for this match. They're the home side. They're the better side. But we give ourselves the best possible opportunity. We're going to try and be positive out there. We're going to try and play the way that we have been doing. But ultimately, we want to drop back and play quite defensive, if anything. And we'd certainly take a boring 0-0 in this one. But we'll just have to see how it goes. It might be that we've completely messed everything up by going defensive, because there you go. After 3 minutes, they're already ahead. Fagino has scored. Maybe we are being a little bit silly here. But if we can keep it at 1-0 behind until the last 20 minutes or so, and then maybe go attacking to try and salvage something later on. Yeah, I'm not sure. Going to go a little bit more direct with our passing as well. Here's Fisk, gets it to Navarro, now to Kerr, back to Navarro again, switches the play over to Benabe. Now here's Habinga to Sam Kerr. What a brilliant goal that is from Samantha Kerr from outside the area. And that's exactly what we can do. We can burst on the counter-attack and we can beat them with that quality. Look at that space that we've got there. And Samantha Kerr with a fabulous, fabulous shot. And we equalise. It's 1-1 in this match. And what a start it's been. You know, Man City getting off the mark after 3 minutes, but then we've come back and looked strong in that second goal there. And yeah, we've got to take our chances like this. We've got Habinga now with a corner kick, whips it into the middle. It's headed away. Kerr gets it to Habinga again. Second bite of the cherry. Gets it to Grace Fisk now. Fisk, oh, hits the post. Wow, that was close. But Fisk had a great chance there. Wowee. But yeah, maybe it is right to go a bit more defensive then and soak up a bit of pressure and beat them on the counter. There was the long ball. A shame that Navarro couldn't control it. Here's Mildema though. Oh, what a great goal that was. Midema. And once again, just that ball over the top, and we're getting caught out by that, but I am telling them to have a deep line defensively and a low block. But it's not working, clearly. Great ball over the top, wasn't it? But you know, I fancy our chances to stay in this match and give us a bit of stuff to look at in this second half and see what we can do. Aston Villa 2-0 up against Everton, by the way. Quick look at the latest scores. Wow, Arsenal 2-0 up against Chelsea. So this is really going to throw open that title race, isn't it, if you look at that? Wow. So maybe we do want to go attacking maybe even earlier than we thought. Here's Navarro on the ball. Oh, what a goal that is from Lorena Navarro. That was brilliant. I wasn't even expecting that to happen. Navarro wins it on this right-hand side, gets inside the area, and what a finish this is with a left foot finesse into that top corner. And it's 2-2 just after 50 minutes in this match, and absolutely brilliant. And yeah, I think let's keep this going until about 75 minutes or so, and then we're going to go attacking. We're going to bring on a couple of changes and really see if we can go for this victory, because it's there on the table for us. I mean, we would take a point. We absolutely would take a point, and that's something to consider. Do we want to risk throwing away the point? for the chance of 3. Here's Hemp. Oh, well, I think that makes up our mind, doesn't it? Because they've now gone into the lead. So we're going to go attacking. In possession, we're going to bump them up a little bit here. Habinga can be a midfield playmaker. Yep, that all looks good. And out of possession, we'll go forward a little bit. That all looks fine. Right, who do we want to bring on? So Olsen not having a great game, so we'll bring on Capax now. And we'll see what she can do. Mulhouse hasn't had a great game either. Let's give Nagano a chance then. Let's do it. Nagano can have a chance to become a hero today. Oh, Burnaby's not having a good game, is she? Let's bring Woodham on for her. Yeah, okay, we'll go with that. So 20 minutes now to play a little bit more fluidly, a little bit more attacking. Oh my god, what was happening there? Everybody was vibrating. Right, here's Greenwood. Greenwood whips it in. Yeah, nice from Bojarat. And that's booted forward. Here's Nagano. What a chance for Nagano. What a goal that is from Fuka Nagano. Fucking hell, what a great goal that was. That was brilliant. Nagano gets it. That ball over the top. And lobs the keeper. That was amazing. 3-3 here. We are going to continue to be attacking. We're going to try and win this match. Because I feel like it's there on the table. Now we can sort of take Man City by surprise, almost, with this attacking play. We've got 5 minutes left. Let's see if we can do it. We have got a couple of substitutions left as well. I'm looking at Bonner possibly coming off because she's struggling a little bit. We're going to have Lundqvist on that right-hand side. And Hannah Silcock, sorry, can come on and go there. Yep, that's fine. Well, there you go. 3-3 and still unbeaten. What a match that was, though. And some incredible goals. Nagano, Navarro, Sam Kerr, all 3 of them were absolute bangers, weren't they? Wow. Well, 3-3. We've got to be happy with that. We take away a point from Manchester City there, and we're still doing pretty well out there, and doing a lot better than I think anybody else thinks was possible. We're unbeaten this season so far. We need to keep going, and then of course Chelsea. You know, when that comes up, that match is going to be huge for us on the 31st of January. And I guess that's when we're going to come back. I'll get through these matches and we'll take on Birmingham and Chelsea, or maybe Chelsea and Arsenal in the next episode, because those are 2 huge matches, Chelsea and Arsenal, and then that'll lead us nicely towards the end of the season, which will be against Everton and Chelsea, to see where we're up to. But yeah, enjoying myself so far. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the journey as well. Obviously, it's a very short little series, this one, but if you guys enjoy it and if you want to see more, then of course there is the possibility of doing a second season with Liverpool, a little bit more in depth, but for now, that is where we'll leave it. If you've enjoyed that, give it a massive thumbs up down below. Subscribe for daily Football Manager videos, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.